Welcome to a presentation by me, Liam Slate, about a trading card game called Portals to Muna, also made by me, Liam Slate. Let me introduce you to the concept. What do all these cards have in common? They're all trading card game cards. They're all some kind of monster or creature. They all have card abilities, which is this text on the side. They have lots of text, really. They all have dark borders. They have lots of symbols that seem to convey information. Now, what is the difference between all of these cards? Ignore this for a moment. They're all different sizes. One doesn't have artwork, vastly different designs, and the aforementioned symbols are all different. The important thing that I want you to pay attention to is, obviously, I made this one. This card is a creature card from my trading card game that I'm currently working on, called Portals to Muna. That name is subject to change. In Portals to Muna, you use creature cards in combination with item cards to attack opponents and reduce the cards in their hand to 0. Once the amount of cards in their hand reaches 0, they lose. It's a last man standing situation. Most trading card games are one-on-one. Portals to Muna is planned to support from 2 to 8 players when it's complete. Trading card games, also called collectible card games, are a type of card game that mixes strategy with trading card game features. Typically, both players would build a deck of 60 and then battle against each other with those decks using rule-based interaction. In Portals to Muna, all players draw from 2 different and larger decks of cards: the item deck and the creature deck. The total amount planned is over 400, with 200 of each type, and over 120 unique cards. Let me tell you about those card types and how they interact. There are 2 types of cards, basically: creature cards and item cards. Let's talk about creature cards first. There are 3 different types of creature cards: attack, defense, and support. Attack creatures can attack players and opponent creatures. Defense creatures protect creatures. And support creatures help attack creatures deal more damage and typically have the strongest abilities. Let me show you how to identify these different types of creature cards. We have our card name. We have our creature classification, like orcs, hill giants, dragons, etc. We have creature type, which I'll get to in the next slide. That's what I want you to pay attention to. We have creature level, which is represented by a number between 1 and 20. Number in the set. This card is the 17th card in the set, 17th unique card in this set. There's the ability text on the side here. Some cards lack abilities or have multiple abilities. There's space for artwork, that's this oval in the middle. There's card rarity, which is common with trading card games. And the version/iteration. It only says 0.0 because this is like the alpha stage of the game, beta, really. Now, creature type. This symbol, the symbol right here, determines what type of creature this card is. And the symbols are this red with an X, that's attack. There's the green with a star, that's defense. And the yellow with a circle is support. How do we use an attack creature? Attack creatures are the only creature type that can innately take the attack action. An attack creature must be on the field in order to attack opponents. Players play cards from their hand to the field, which would be like a tabletop. Once on the field, the player can choose to use their attack creature to attack an opponent. The attacking creature's level must be equal to or greater than the level of the opponent's creature for it to be killed. For example, this level 16 can kill this level 14 because its number is greater. And then that level 14 would then be discarded because it is killed and put into the discard pile. Now, if the level 14 creature was going to try and attack the level 16 creature, it actually can't. It can't attack or kill it. because the level 16 is higher. Defense creatures. When defense creatures are active on the field, they provide half of their level to allied creatures for protection. This level 16 creature right here provides a defense bonus of +8 because because 16 divided by 2 is 8. If the creature card, if the creature's level is an uneven number, like 17, you just round down still to 8. The defense bonus is applied to allied creatures when opponents attack them. So if I had a level 10 attack creature and it was being attacked, it would then have a +8 because of this creature's defense bonus, which would give it a level 18. So that would mean the attacking creature would have to have a level 18 or higher in order to kill it. And defense creatures don't benefit from their own defense bonus. Let me demonstrate. We have a level 9 attack creature, a level 13 defense creature, and an opponent who has an attack creature that is level 13. The level 13 cannot attack our level 9, even though normally it would be able to. But in this case, it's being protected by this level 6 defense bonus, which gives it a level of 15, which means the opponent would have to have a level 15 or higher in order to kill it. Now, the attack creature can still choose to attack our defense creature because it doesn't benefit from its own defense bonus. If this defense creature were a level 14, this level 13 could not attack it and kill it. Now, let's add support creatures into the mix. Support creatures buff the damage of attack creatures by providing a support bonus. A support bonus is half of the creature's level. This creature's level is 12, so it provides +6. When ally attack creature attacks an opponent, it adds the support bonus to the level of damage the attack creature is dealing. This allows you to make your attack creatures stronger and overpower defense bonuses. Let me demonstrate again. So, this is a level 9 support creature. We round down, so that's a +5 support bonus that it then gives to the attack creature when it's attacking. This attack creature is level 9, and normally wouldn't be able to kill this level 13. But because it's getting that +5 from the support bonus, it now has a damage level of 14, which means it can kill this level 13, because it's greater than 13. Now, in this situation, it's our opponent's turn. Our opponent cannot choose to attack our support creature, because it's still benefiting from that +6 defense bonus, but it can still attack the level 13 defense creature, as we said before. Now, in this situation, our opponent has a support creature that is a level of 16, which means the attack creature is getting +8 support like damage, which means it has the option to kill any of our creatures because it overpowers that defense bonus that our defense creature provides. It only has the option to kill any of these, but it can only kill one on its turn. Now let's talk about the battlefield. One of each of these cards can be placed down on the field at one time. If you place down one creature type, and then you want to place down the same creature type on the field, on your field, that means you must discard the one that is currently on the field, and that card will go into the discard pile. And yeah, next slide. If you have no creature cards on the field, and an opponent attacks you, they attack your hand. The cards in your hand act as your HP. The attacker's damage level determines the level of cards you discard from your hand. A player must discard 2 cards equal to or less than the attacker's damage level. The player has the choice of what cards to discard out of their hand. Cards that are above the attacker's damage level are completely safe and don't have to be discarded. If I only had one card in my hand that was equal to or less than the attacker's damage level, I'd only have to discard that one. And if I had none, then I wouldn't have to discard any cards. Now, let me throw you in a situation. So we have no creatures on our field, but we have cards in our hand. And our opponent is attacking our hand with a level 12 attack creature. We have 4 cards in our hand that are level 12 or below. We have to choose 2 of those to discard. In this case, this player chose to discard these 2 cards. They would then be put into the discard pile. Now, in a different situation, let's say the same thing's happening where we're being attacked with level 12 damage, but we have no cards in our hand that are level 12 or lower. That means we don't discard any cards. You should conceal your hand from other players. But in some situations, a card ability might involve revealing it. And when a opponent attacks your hand, that's the attack action. Even if it fails or it succeeds, that's still their attack action that gets used. So they can't use it again until their next turn. Now, let's talk about the comeback mechanic. When a player only has 1 card left in their hand, the opponent must attack with a damage level 5 levels above the level of the card in the player's hand. So we have a level 9 here and our level 12 opponent. So because of this +5 comeback mechanic bonus, this card in our hand is now considered a level 14, which means the opponent's damage level would have to be 14 or higher in order for us to discard this. Now, as soon as we have 2 cards in our hand that are equal to or below that damage level, then this rule doesn't apply anymore. If this level 12 attacked our hand and we had a 9 and a 10, that would mean that we would then lose. Let's talk about item cards now. There are 3 different types of item cards: effect, equipable, and single use. Effect applies some kind of effect to allied creatures or opponent creatures. Equipables can be attached to creatures, and single use cards are played directly from the player's hand. How to use and identify an effect card, part 1. Effect cards have their level displayed in the top left-hand corner, as you can see here on the right, and have 2 classification tags. The first being the type of effect card, weather, terrain, locale, and the second part being, in this case, the type of weather: storm, season, condition, a natural disaster. And the second tag would be different depending on what the first tag was. If it was a terrain, then the second tag would be like hill or volcano or some other terrain. Effect cards are played onto the field beside a player's creature field and will apply some kind of effect for its duration or until it's discarded. Effect cards might be locations, weather conditions, or protective magic spells. They can provide extra player options, apply an ability to all allied cards, bolster a player's defense against certain abilities or creatures, etc., etc. When effect cards are on the field, they also benefit from an ally's defense bonus. This is because they can be attacked as well, and abide by the same equal to or greater than rule for being discarded. Some effect cards may also benefit from a support bonus if they involve dealing damage. Only 1 effect card can be on your field at one time. You must discard the one currently on your field if you wish to place another down. However, effect cards do not count as creatures. If a player has no creatures on the field, but they have an effect card out, opponents can still attack the player's hand. How to use and identify an equipable card, part 1. Equipable cards only have 1 classification tag, as you can see, and lack card ability names. The classifications are weapon, armor, utility, and a magical variation of each, which means there's 6 in total. Weapon items are intended for attack creatures to get the most out of them. Armor items will provide a defense or level buffs. Utility items are a little bit more abstract and usually intended for support creatures. And the magical variations of each are more complex and have several aspects to them. Equipable cards are attached to creature cards and normally provide a stat increase to the creature it's attached to. When a creature that has an equipable card attached to them is killed, the creature is discarded, and the item card goes back into the player's hand that it was originally played from. Only one equipable card can be attached to a creature at a time. If you want to replace the card currently attached to a particular allied creature on the field, you have to discard the one that is attached to them currently. Although a little tip is that it's smarter to not do that, because as soon as that creature dies, that card goes back into your hand, which will bolster your hand's amount of cards. Let me demonstrate. In this situation, we have a level 8 attack creature and a level 9 support creature, and there's an item attached to the level 9 support creature. This player played an effect card from their hand, which activated the item attached to the support creature. It reads, +1 support bonus. On the turn, you play a new effect card. Now, this effect card reads, +2 levels to ally attack and defense creatures while it's active. Which means it gives +2 levels to our attack creature, and even though our creature is a level 9, it now provides a level 5 because of the item, which means we +7, and our attack creature is dealing a damage level of 15, almost double of what it was before. Finally, single-use cards. Single-use cards have no special classifications or card ability names like some of the previous item card types, only function. Single-use cards are played directly from the player's hand and do whatever is said on them, after which they are discarded and put in the discard pile. Our card could say, pick up 2 cards, find the first defense creature in the deck, and add it to your hand. The idea of single-use item cards is to be used as utility or offense for one instance. They are the most similar to like traditional card games like Crazy Eights or Uno. Let's talk about card abilities now, because they can get complicated. Card abilities are the text within the vacant space of a card. They separate the card from other cards of the same class, type, and level. They make things interesting, unique. Card abilities ultimately overrule all other established rules, even the ones I'm about to tell you after card abilities. This card's ability allows it to cut the deck and then draw a card. Normally the rule is that you draw a card from the very top, but this overrules that rule. Next slide. They have veto power over all other rules. There are some assumptions you should make about card abilities, though, when reading them. You should assume that a card ability only starts working once it is played, unless said otherwise. When a card says pick up 1 card type from a deck or discard pile, it means you can pick up any of that card. For example, this card says on your turn, pick up 1 storm card from the discard pile. That means any storm card of your choosing from the discard pile. And if it says first, it means you pick up the closest to the top. So the closest to the top might be the one on the very top, or it could be like 3 cards down. It's the closest to the top in the order that they are laid down. You should assume that support bonuses do apply when dealing damage is mentioned, unless specified otherwise. If a card ability states it can't be on the field for some reason, it means that the card can't be played if that reason occurs, or must be discarded from the field if that reason occurs while it's on the field. Assume that card abilities stack with other abilities that might share a trait. Now, card abilities stack, unless said otherwise, like I just said. The ability of the card on the left is that it extends the duration of the disabled or move status, which I'll get to later, by 1 round. And the card on the right doubles the duration of all allied card abilities. That includes single-use cards that you use, that includes effect cards, that includes other creatures. Now, in this case, if an attack creature were to disable a opponent, that would mean that thanks to Firestorm Arcane, which is this card's ability, it means it would be extended by 1 round. So instead of being 1 round, it would be 2. Now, Galgus, Galgus's ability doubles the duration of all allied card abilities, which means it doubles the duration of this ability, which means it's now 2 rounds, and then it doubles the duration of the initial attack creature's ability, which means that that disabled status now lasts for 4 rounds. That is pretty brutal. Now let's talk about status conditions. The disabled condition. When a card is disabled, it's turned 90 degrees on the field. A card's ability is considered null and void while disabled. If the card in question is an attack creature, it can't attack. If the card is a defense or support creature, it doesn't provide a defense or support bonus while disabled. But there is a technicality. This card's ability, like on the previous slide, was that it extends the duration of the disabled or moved statuses inflicted by allied creatures by 1 round. This card's ability is that during your turn, you can disable an allied creature for 1 round to disable an opponent's defense creature for 1 round. And then there's Galgus again, that doubles the duration of all allied card abilities. So, next slide. If I activate this card's ability, that means that it now disables our defense creature for 2 rounds, because it's doubled by Lasting Aura, which is Galgus's ability. Now, because our defense creature is disabled, that actually means that its ability is null and void, even though it did involve the disable status. And it also no longer provides a defense bonus for the duration of its disabled status. So, and also, the ability of the attack creature cannot be used again until this creature is either killed or undisabled. The moved condition. When a card is moved, whoever inflicted the condition chooses to move the card attached to it chooses to move the affected card to another role on the player's field. A moved creature can't be moved from one player's field to another. When a creature is moved into another role that it doesn't belong to, it can't act as that role, and because it's no longer in its proper role, it stops providing any bonuses or being able to attack. Creature card abilities are still active while they're moved. Creatures are swapped if the role is already occupied by another creature card. So if there was an attack creature in this attack role and a player moved them, they would just swap places. The face down condition. Some card abilities may say that they can be placed face down. A face down card can be attacked by any damage level. Once attacked, you turn the card face up, and then it must be killed normally. When the card is face down, it can still provide bonuses, attack, and use card abilities, if able. Now, since this attack creature attacked while it was face down, and it flipped up, it can't actually attack it again because this is a level 17 and this is a level 12. Combining status conditions. The face down, disabled, and move conditions can all apply to the same creature all at the same time. That's intentional game design. I think it's very clever. The disabled and move conditions are generally more negative because they prohibit you from doing things. But a lot of creatures use them to activate abilities or um, activate or like actively negate them. There could be a card ability that says it can't be moved, which means it can't be moved by ally card abilities or opponents. The same applies to the face down condition, the moved and face. So, how to play step by step. Separate the item and creature cards into two different piles and make sure to shuffle them both well. Leave a space beside the two decks for the discard pile when playing. Deal out 3 item cards and 3 creature cards to everyone playing. That's a total of 6 for everyone playing. Every player picks up 1 additional creature card from the deck. Now, when you do this, you pick up that creature card and you pay attention to what is the creature's classification. You then look in the rule booklet, which will come soon, and in that rule booklet will be written down what rule is associated with this creature's classification. In this case, this is a Frost Giant. So the Frost Giant rule is that the player draws 2 cards at the end of their turn instead of 1 at the start. This makes it so every game is unique. You know, you're not playing by the same strategy every game. The player who was dealt their cards first goes first, and then turns are taken in a clockwise order. So, you might be asking now, what can I do on my turn? I'm about to tell you. Beginning of a turn, the drawing phase. Drawing a card. The player has a choice of drawing 1 card from one of the 2 decks, the creature or item deck. If the player's field is full at the beginning of their turn, they do not pick up a card at all. The trading phase. If the player so chooses, they can discard any amount of item cards in their hand to pick up an equal amount of creature cards from the creature deck, and vice versa. The player may discard any duplicates from their hand to pick up an equal amount of the same card type from its respective deck. And you can do these both at the same time. The playing phase. A player can play 1 card, or 1 creature card, and 1 item card from their hand on their turn. When one or more players have a full field of cards, like effect and creature cards, the players without a full field may play 1 additional creature or item card on that turn, which means you can play 3 cards total on a turn. 1 of each, and then the other can be either or. And that lasts until every player has a full field. If every player has a full field, then it's back to only drawing 1 of each. Or playing 1 of each, sorry. Cards can have the free play trait. When a card is free played, it can be played from the hand without adding to the cost of the cards that can be played on that turn. Card abilities can be used in any order in this phase. Attack phase. If a player can only attack if an attack creature is on their field, although there are card abilities that say otherwise. If an attack creature is played on that turn, it can still use the attack action. There is no waiting. You can play down an attack creature and immediately attack. A player may choose to use their attack creature to attack one creature, player, or effect card on the field. Some cards have abilities that allow you to take an alternate action instead of taking the attack action. A player cannot use the attack action if they have no attack creature, but they can still use alternate actions, as seen on creature cards. Once the attack or alternate action is used, the player's turn ends. So, let me walk you through an example turn. So, here's the situation. It's our turn. So this is our hand. We do not have an effect or defense creature on our field. But we do have a level 18 attack creature and a level 7 support creature. Our opponent has an effect card, a level 15 effect card, that has the ability +2 levels to ally attack and defense creatures, which means it's giving that defense creature and attack creature +2, which means they've got a level 11 attack creature and a level 19 defense creature. The ability of the support creature reads that it gives off +2 support bonus when the allied attack creature is equipped with an item, which it is currently right now. And so is the support creature, by the way. So because it's a level 9 support creature, that means that our the opponent's attack creature is getting that +2 and then that +2 from the ability, and then the +4 from being a support creature, which means it's got a damage level of 18. That's dangerous for our level 18 attack creature. Now, our defense creature provides a defense bonus of +9, which means that the effect card has a defense level of 24, the attack creature has a defense level of 20, and the support creature has a defense level of 19. 18, sorry. So, the beginning of our turn, the drawing phase. This player chose to draw one creature card from the deck. We didn't really get what we wanted. So, in the trading phase, we trade one duplicate from our hand into the discard pile. And since it's a creature card, that means we pick up an additional creature card. Next slide. Lucky us, we picked up a level 13 defense creature. Now we move on to the playing phase. We play the Thunderstorm card, which, its ability reads, when this card is played, one opponent of your choosing must discard all the items attached to their creatures. Now we only have one opponent, so we obviously choose them, and they discard all the items attached to their creature, and that card is played down. Now, that was an item card. Now we play a creature card. So, we play down our level 13 defense creature. And since our opponent has a full field of cards, that means that we can play down an additional card. So, we play another item card. This allows us to kill one creature. So, this player chose to kill the defense creature. Good choice. And now we move on to the attack phase. Our attack creature now chooses to attack the opponent's attack creature and kills it. And those cards are put into the discard pile. Now, I hope you're asking, how do I get my hands on this game so I can play it? Well, that's a little complicated because it's not yet finished. Here's my current progress. I'm working on the project daily, so I'm making progress all the time. There's 46 unique creature cards, designed and printed so far, with more on the way. 5 item cards are designed, but not yet printed. A deck containing 140 creature cards, duplicates included, and modified rules have been play-tested several times with great success. Improvements have been made based on feedback, such as text size and color changes, as you can see. These are improved versions with larger text and more visible text as well. I've made huge strides in game lore, because every trading card game has game lore. Now, my current goals are, 1, the first priority, is to design and print more item cards. And I want to complete a full game deck of 70 creatures and 70 items by February 7th. That might seem like a tall order, but I have a template on my computer that I kind of just type in the different things, the different like words and stuff on them. And I plan to hand out these. Oh yeah, and I want to complete the development of a rule booklet to go along with these cards, because I want to be able to hand them out to anyone who's interested, and then they can give me feedback when they play it with like their friends by themselves, so I can keep improving the game while I'm making even more cards to get closer and closer to that final product that I envision. So when can you get it? Come see me on Monday, February 7th at school, and I'll make sure I have numerous copies of this brand new iteration to hand out to anyone interested. However, I am not a robot, so I cannot produce like infinite like copies of this new iteration. I have to print them and then laminate them, and then I have to cut all the cards by hand. I'll probably spend hours alone just cutting cards, because there will be so many. But I will try to make a lot, and in return, I want you to go out and play with your friends and family, and after playing, send me feedback written over text or given to me in written form. The good and the bad, all feedback is wanted. Like, I don't care how critical you are. You could, like, I'm hungry for feedback for, like, we've done so many cuts, or not cuts, but like takes of this, because I kept screwing up.
This is the 24th.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We'll ignore that. Anyway, so any feedback is welcome. The good, the bad. I want you to critique my card game as hard as possible. You can give me suggestions. Tell me what you dislike. Tell me any like game-breaking strategies. I've already discovered one. The rule where if a player had a full field, they could place like 3 cards instead of the 2. That did not exist before I discovered this game-breaking strategy, where the deck that I was using before that is only full of creature cards, we were just doing it so you could only play 1 creature card, and I discovered a game-breaking strategy that if I had a level 20 defense card and I had a full field of cards that were able to deal more than 20 damage, it means that it would literally become unbeatable. So that is why the rule is in place that if your opponents have a full field of cards, you can place down 2, because then I could place an attack and a support to overpower that level 20 defense creature. Because there was no attack creature in the game that had a level 20, only level 19s or lower. So that was a little cool little game dev story. So yeah, this is the wrap up. Thank you for watching. And I'd like to thank my sister behind the camera for sticking with me for like 3 hours to
4 hours.
Whatever. I hope you enjoy. And another thing about February 7th. I mean, obviously, I'm thinking about putting this on YouTube, so I'm not going to say my address or where I live, or give out social medias, but people who know me can contact me somehow. And on February, I'll make sure that I'm like in the library on that Monday, February 7th. So you can come find me in the library. I'll make sure that I'm in there like on my lunch breaks and my frees. So, thanks for watching, and I have no idea how long this video is, but hopefully it wasn't too long.
Thank you for sticking to the end.